Hi, I'm Yeng, a student from OUM. So for this presentation, I'm going to share about the assignment of the subject child development. So this assignment requires us to observe a video about child development. Then I'm going to discuss about the development of the child that you can observe in the video for different aspects, which are social, emotional, physical, and cognitive. Alright, so you can just take a look at the video first, and I'm going to discuss about it by using some theories. Alright, and later on I'm also going to discuss about the issue of nature and nurture. Yeah, the argument between these two elements for child development. Okay, just take a look at the video first. Now we have watched the video, let's discuss about the cognitive development first. Okay, I'm going to share about the Piaget cognitive developmental theory to discuss about the cognitive development of children. Okay, so for this theory, there are some stages for cognitive development of children, which are sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and the formal operational. Alright, so I am only going to share about the sensory motor stage. Yeah, because the children in the video fall under this stage. Alright, so for this sensory motor, there are 6 sub-stages, and I am only going to share about the first 2 stages, which are the reflexive schemes and the primary circular reactions. Alright, so for this stage, or these 2 sub-stages, the children use their reflexes or the senses to explore the world around them, to understand about the world. Alright, so you can see from the first child, this child, she in the black and white scene. So this child actually frequently blink her eyes in the video. Okay, so this is one of the reflexes, and we name it as eye blink reflex. Okay, so this reflex is one of the response the child made to respond to the external stimulation, and this reflex can actually protect the child from the external stimulation, which could be harmful for her. For example, the bright lights, maybe hand clapping very close to her eyes. Alright, and another reflex you can see is the boy in stripy shirt. I represent him by using this bear. Okay, so this boy, you can see that he frequently stuck out his tongue. Yes, and this is one of the reflex. We call it as tongue thrust reflex. Yes, so this tongue thrust reflex can help him for feeding without choking. Okay, he'll be able to suck the food. Alright, and this can also help him to develop his language later in his life. And for the primary circular reaction, you can see from this child, the second child in the video, who wear a yellow shirt and hold a maple leaf and the toy, and keep hitting on the table or keep shaking the toys. Okay, so for this child, he actually shake the things while smiling, so it can produce some pleasurable effects for him through the shaking action. Okay, so maybe it's the sound that he do while hitting the toys, or maybe the input towards his muscle when he exercised the arms. Okay, so because he gained the pleasurable effects, so this is the primary circular reaction towards the sensory motor stage. Alright, so in order to compensate this theory, Piaget's theory, there is another theory that we can use to discuss about cognitive development, which is information processing theory. So in this theory, it explains to us about how our brain works when we are going to learn about something. So in the very first stage is attention. Yes, it is the sensory registration for us. So I will talk about this boy again, the boy in stripy shirt. Okay, so you can see from this boy, when the adult hold a chain toy in front of him while shaking from left to right, so the boy actually can keep his eye on the object. Okay, he can track on the object visually without losing focus. Okay, so which means that the boy pay attention to the object. Yeah, so this is the first stage for our learning. So when he pay attention to it, he will register the stimulation or the input into his brain, then move on to the working memory or the short-term memory, and lastly, after few retrieval or some exercises practices, the information will move into the long-term memory. Yes, so this is about the cognitive development of children. For social emotional development of children, you can see from the video, the first milestone in the child's life for social emotional development is the smile. So you can see lots of smiles in the video. Alright, so I explain it by using Charles Darwin evolutionary theory. Alright, so this theory explain about the functions of our emotion. Yeah, why do we cry? Why do we feel sad? Why do we feel angry? Or why do we feel happy? Yeah, so all the emotions have their functions. So you can see in the video, crying. So actually you can see there are some children crying in a video like this. The child in the white shirt who is crying, and move on to the child in a strawberry shirt who is sitting on a baby chair also crying, while an adult is helping him to maybe clean his diaper. Alright, and another child, the girl in red shirt, she's crying and holding her hands up, maybe she wants some hug. Yeah, so the functions of crying, why are they crying? So from the narrator of the video we can understand that maybe they need something, maybe they want to change their diaper, they want to get their diaper changed, or maybe they feel too hot or too cold. Okay, so there's some reasons behind their cry. Okay, so move on to another theory that explain about social emotional development of children is the Erik Erikson's psychosocial developmental theory. Okay, so for this theory, it explains about the response of a caregiver or an adult towards the child. Yes, towards the child's demands on their aggression or their sexual demands will affect or influence their personality development later in their life. Alright, so you can see some stages for this theory. So I will discuss only about the first stage, which is the conflict of basic trust versus mistrust. So you can see in the video, if the child is given some prompt responses or given a very safe environment, they will explore the world, explore the environment very comfortably. Yeah, for example, this child, again this child who is holding a maple leaf and playing with the toy. Alright, you can see he smile frequently when he is playing with the toy, so which means that he feels safe in the environment. He believes that the world, the environment is very good, is very positive. Yeah, he developed the basic trust towards the environment. That's why he can explore the world comfortably. Okay, and next, some crying. Let's explain about this. Let's discuss about this. So the children cry. When the children cry, adult or caregiver have to respond it promptly or appropriately. Okay, so in order for them to develop the trust towards the adults or towards the caregiver and even towards the environment, in order for them to believe that the world, the environment is good, is positive, so that they can exploit it. Alright, so this is about the social emotional development of the children. Next, for physical development, I'll talk about different development in terms of motor or even postural. Alright, so first you can see from the first scene, the child, the baby girl wiggle her finger. So this is one of the fine motor that we can see from the video. And another one is this boy. He can actually hold the object, hold the toy firmly. Okay, so this is one of the milestone for the fine motor skills. And at the end of the scene, you can see that this boy, the same boy, actually run towards or walk towards the mother or the caregiver and give her a hug. So this is one of the milestone the baby will achieve in terms of their gross motor skills. Okay, and next, about the postural development, you can see that one of the scenes shows a mother or a caregiver hold the baby and shake him up and down. And this baby can actually stabilize himself. He can hold his head and the back straight in an upright position without falling down. Okay, so this is one of the postural developmental milestone for baby. And next, I will talk about two theories to support the physical development for children. Okay, one is the operant conditioning. As we all know, operant conditioning talks about the reinforcer, the reward that can make the behavior to repeat again, and the punishment or the negative consequences which can reduce the behaviors. Okay, so from the video, you can see that the child this child, she wiggling her finger, so this could give her some senses which is quite rewarding for her. Yeah, especially on the proprioceptive input. All right, and this little boy again she was shaking with the things, the objects, right? So this is also can provide some rewards towards her proprioceptive input towards his muscle, and also the sounds that he made while knocking the objects on the table. So the sounds can serve as the reinforcer towards his behavior to increase the behavior again and again. And another child, the last child you can see in the video, who is sitting on a cradle and stretching or kicking his leg to bounce himself up and down, up and down. Alright, so this movement provide the reward of vestibular input towards his body, as well as the proprioceptive input towards his the leg. Okay, when he kick his leg to bounce himself. Okay, so that's the reason why he keep on repeating this actions or behaviors again. You can see in the video. And another theory to discuss about physical development is the social learning. Okay, social learning is very famous in terms of the Bubu doll experiment from Bandura. Alright, so you can see this child, the stripy shirt child, he do the tongue thrust, right? So other than the reflexes, this can also explain by imitation, one of the social learning that he learned from adult or from observation towards some figure, okay, some model. Alright, so when he look at it, he observe how people do it, then he will imitate the actions by himself. Okay, and another one so this little boy who is hugged by the adult figure or a caregiver, he can actually twist his body to roll over. So this can be also one of the reflexes or also one of the social learning as well. Okay, the way he imitate others to do it, to twist his body, to stretch his arm. Alright, so in talking about this, I'll introduce another theory, which is the dynamic system theory, which means that we have to combine like lots of actions to do one complicated action. So one example is this: to make a rollover, as shown by this kid. So he has to he have to turn his head and twist the upper body, alright, and stretch his arm in order to twist or roll his body towards the caregiver. Yeah, so like all the simple movement have to be developed first in order to make a more complex actions. Alright, so this is what explained, one of the example explained by the dynamic system theory. So this is all about the physical development of the child that we can explain in the video. Now let's discuss about the issue of nature and nurture. Okay, so I'll talk about nature first. So for nature, it is strongly supported by this theory, the biological psychology. So this theory talk about the maturational process, the innate abilities of the child or everyone that we have. We own it, we have it once we are born. Alright, so it is the unfolding process of our ability during the maturational period that brings out our ability naturally. Okay, so it is all about nature. Yes, the innate ability of all of us. So one of the example is LAD, the language acquisition device, yeah, from Chomsky. Yes, so we own the device, we have the ability. So that's why we can learn the language from our environment. All right. So that is about nature and about nurture. It is all about the environmental influences. So you can see it is supported by this tabula rasa, the concept. So this concept talk about the children. So all of us born as a child as a blank slate. We are a blank paper. So it is the environment that colored our life, that colored our ability. Alright, so talking about environment, we have the behaviorism. Okay, so this as I mentioned before just now, the operant conditioning and the social learning theory, this both of these are from behaviorism. Yes, and one of the famous the example is the boo doll experiment. All right, so this experiment, the child look at how the adult or the mother react to the boo doll. Yeah, when the adult hit on the boo doll, the child imitate the action exactly how the adult did it. Yes, so this is supported by the nurture. Yes, so that is all about how we observe others do, and we do it by imitation or social modeling. Okay, so for me, I think my perspective is in the middle. Neither two of this, but in the middle. Okay, so my perspective can be supported by this theory, Eric Erikson again, the psychosocial theory. Okay, so for this theory, all of us have the innate ability, we have the demand, we born with the sexual demands, with the aggressive demands. All right, so this is our it. Okay, and it is being nurtured by the environment, by the caregivers, by our father, my mother. Okay, and it is the response of the caregivers towards our demands, to the child's demand, that influence their personality development. Okay, so it explains the way that the nurture and the nature comes together to influence the child. Okay, and talking about this issue, I will bring out one issue, one example, or one interesting topic to discuss, which is children with Down syndrome. Okay, so children with Down syndrome, they are born with the ability, yeah, you can see from their physical appearances. Yes, they have the similar characteristics, right? And they are also have like low muscle tone. Yeah, I think most of them have it, I've seen. Yes, and it is the environment that make them different. Yes, so you can see even they born with the similar characteristics, they have different functioning level as well. Yes, so for example, one children with the Down syndrome, she could walk or she could run very well. Yeah, and another one, she have a lower muscle tone, she could only crawl. Yes, so this could be explained by the nurture part. Yes, it is the practices, the experiences, or even the interventions that this girl gone through in her life that make her to be able to do that, able to run, able to walk. Yes, so the nurture counts as well. All right, and another thing is the twin study. Yes, twin study is very interesting to be looked into. Yes, and a lot of scientists or a lot of psychologists has looked into this issue as well. So for a pair of twins, they might have the same or the similar characteristic, the face or the physical characteristic is exactly the same, right? But their functional level is could be very different, or their personality could be very different as well. Yeah, so let's say they are divided into two very different environment throughout their life. So their functioning level can be very different. one in an environment that is very stimulating, with lots of books, with very supportive caregivers, and another one with the least stimulation. How do you think is their functioning level? Yes, the one with lots of stimulation could have higher cognitive levels compared to the other one. Alright, so this could happen due to the nurture part, the environment part. Okay, so the environmental influences can affect how the child grow. And so for me, I personally support both views. Yes, both of them are very important for the child development. Yes, so we have to own the innate ability in order to learn about the things from the environment. Yes, that's why we can develop into a better person. Okay, that's all from me. I hope you enjoy the presentation. Thank you.